These are things that I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked when I became an adult and found out they're incredibly expensive. First off, we have nuts. This jar is like $9. To put that in perspective, a Chipotle bowl is like $7.50. Why is this so expensive? It's one of the only good sources of protein that's not meat. Why is it $9 for like what I could eat in a sitting? Except we have rugs. I would think these are like 20, 30 bucks. A cheap one at Home Goods is like $100. If you want like a nice, really big one, it's like $500. That's absolutely crazy. You can buy like a cheap jacket for like 20 bucks. Why are rugs so expensive? And then we have insurance. This is absolutely the worst culprit. I thought you'd pay like a couple bucks a month. Absolutely not. This isn't about health, car insurance. It's all horrible. I know a lot of you are Gen Z, so I'll lay out how it works for you. You pay hundreds of dollars a month for this. And then if you actually make a claim, they try their hardest not to process it. And if they do process it, you have a deductible. So you have to pay yearly so much before they'll actually pay for anything. And usually that's like thousands of dollars. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why do we have this? These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 2. First up, we have ink cartridges. Now, I had no idea that I was bankrupting my parents by insisting that my elementary school poster boards had full color pictures, but these each run about $40, which is just insane. Sometimes it's more cost efficient just to buy a new printer than to buy another ink cartridge, and I don't understand why a pack of Bic ink pens is 99 cents for like 20, but these run $40 each. Except we have trash cans. In the words of Alyssa Edwards, "Mama, this is garbage." One of these nice ones is going to run you $100, which makes no sense when a can of Coke has like the same amount of aluminum, and that's 99 cents, and even a cheap plastic one is still going to be $30. Like, it's just a place to put trash. Why is that so expensive? It makes no sense. Finally, we have car registration. I thought this was going to be like 10 bucks a year to like file your paperwork. Absolutely not. This sticker is going to be like $250, and nobody can actually tell me what it's for. I just know that I'm supposed to have it, and apparently I won't get pulled over if I do. These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 3. First up, we have bed sheets. Now, I really did make the mistake of paying $100 for a single fitted sheet because I thought it would feel like sleeping on a cumulus cloud. It did not. Even a cheap set of these is going to be like $139 at Target, and I don't know why, because it's literally a piece of fabric with some stitches in it. Next up, we have cheese. Now, you can get on the cheap end of this and get the Kraft singles, but I really consider that edible plastic, so anything worth consuming is going to be like $7 to $20, and I don't know why. If the Disney Channel original movie Cowbells starring Allie and AJ taught me anything, it's that this should not be that expensive. Finally, we have children. Now, I was really walking around my parents' house like they should be grateful for my presence, living rent-free and being fully provided for, and still having the audacity to cry if I didn't get McDonald's for dinner every night. Absolutely not. These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 4. First up, we have greeting cards. Now, I'm all for supporting independent artists. What I'm not for is buying grocery store greeting cards. These can be really sneaky and be like $5. I thought they'd be like 50 cents. It's folded cardstock with the same tired bad pun about, "Oh, does your back hurt? You must be turning 32. No. Next up, we have landscaping supplies. Now, if you're bougie enough to have a yard, just know that you're going to have to splurge on literal dirt. This bag is like $4 for 2 cubic feet, but that really adds up. And don't even get me started on gravel. It's literally rocks. Like, you could just go to the park and collect them. I don't understand why it's so expensive. Finally, we have decorative pillows. Now, for all the joy of laying on a porcupine, you too can pay an absurd amount of money for a decorative pillow. All you're going to do is lay these on your bed or couch and move them to the side when you're actually ready to lay on these. And even the Joy to My Life Home Goods, these are still really expensive, and I don't understand why, because they're not comfortable at all. They do look nice, but how far does that go? These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 5. First, we have batteries. Now, these are only like 50 cents to $1, which seems pretty reasonable, but when I think about the sheer number of these that I went through playing my Game Boy Color as a kid, I don't know why my parents didn't have to take out a second mortgage. Also, there's nothing more frustrating when like whatever new thing you got takes an obscure battery that you have to like hunt down. Like, they all do the same thing. Why are there so many different types? Except we have chairs. Now, I thought this would be like $20 or $30. No. If you want anything semi-nice, it's going to be at least $100, and if you want a cushion on it and be bougie, it's going to be more, which is just crazy to me because it's really just wood nailed together. And finally, we have taxes. Now, I really thought it was gonna be like $200, $300 a year for income tax and like 1% for sales tax. No, this is thousands of dollars, and I don't know where it's going to, because obviously there's a lot of people in need around me and they're not getting any assistance. So where's this money going? And taxes themselves are so frustrating because they already know the math, and then they give you this sheet you have to fill it out yourself, and they're like, "Don't screw it up. We've got a jail cell waiting for you." What is that? These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 6. We have candles. Now, I have no idea what magical liquid candle wax is that makes them so expensive to buy, but these get really pricey, and the problem is they're so addicting to buy. They're like Pokemon cards for depressed adults, and I need them all. We have storage bins. Now, in the same vein as trash cans, why are they so expensive? It's just a plastic bin. Amazon sends you plenty of plastic for free, and if you want to go crazy and get wood or wicker, these are going to be like triple the price. It shouldn't be that expensive just to make your shelves look nice. Finally, we have car repairs. Now, I absolutely dread taking my car to the mechanic because there's always some magical thing I've never heard of of wrong with it. Like, why does my car need spark plugs? It's not a fancy Tesla, it's a 2011 Civic. I think it'll be fine. And car repairs are always hundreds and hundreds of dollars or worse, which is literally a nightmare. These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 7. First, we have bath towels. Now, if you want anything that feels better than rubbing literal sandpaper all over your body, you're gonna have to spend a lot for these, and I don't understand because it's pretty much just fabric. Why can't I just buy a yard of this at Joann's and call it a day? Is that socially acceptable? Also, the price differentiation on these is really weird because you can buy like one bath towel for $20 at Home Goods, but if you want a Turkish bath towel, it's gonna be $150 at Macy's. I don't understand. Except we have mattresses, which seems like just some springs and fabric, but it's really quite expensive, and what's so frustrating is how absolutely necessary these are for a good night's sleep, and you can't get them used because then you could have some unwelcome guests in your bed, and you absolutely do not want that. And finally, we have going to the dentist, which as a kid was really just fluoride brushing, and then my mom would take me to McDonald's afterwards as a reward. But as an adult, it's quite invasive in your mouth, and then the dentist just shames you for not flossing 8 times a day, and on top of that, you have to pay hundreds of dollars for it, which is ridiculous. These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 8. We have curtains. Now, as I've mentioned multiple times in this series, this is just a piece of fabric with maybe a couple stitches in it, and the most frustrating part is that these get really expensive and they only put one in the package. Who only needs one curtain? Next up, we have Spirit Halloween costumes. These can be like $40 to $100, and what's so frustrating about these is that the fabric they use is horrendous. It always has weird wrinkles in it that you can never get out. It's the itchiest thing I've ever felt in the world, and why do they include the boot covers? They don't look anything like boots. Finally, we have going to the doctor for a checkup. Now, imagine paying hundreds of dollars to be told that you should stop eating fast food and wear more sunscreen. Great, thanks. Wikipedia said the same thing to me. And the worst part is, if you're lucky enough to have insurance, you have to check, is the doctor in network? Is the office in network? Is the specialist I've been referred to in network? And if you F that up, thousands of dollars. These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 9. So we have shipping. I thought this was like $1 or $2 when I was a kid. No, why is my Scooby-Doo Chia Pet costing $10 to get here? Is it taking a first class ticket, having a hot towel and an oil massage on the way here? And if you want to ship anything internationally, oh my god, you might as well just have a vacation and deliver it yourself. Except we have an ambulance ride. Now, I was under the impression that this was free, but apparently not. Honestly, if I'm in such bad shape that I can't take an Uber there, just leave me. I don't want to deal with it. Also, EMTs are like the least paid in the medical field, so who's making all the money off of this? We have makeup. Now, I was under the impression that this was like $2 a tube, like Halloween face paint. No, I went to Target to get foundation for these videos, and honestly, I felt like I needed a degree to figure out what was going on. I'm not trying to paint Kim Kardashian here. I'm going for Walmart Billy Eichner. Why do I feel so overwhelmed? These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 10. So we have mirrors. Now, these were literally ever as a kid, so I thought, I don't know, how much could they be? It's a piece of reflective glass, like $20? No. These are like $80. Bonus points extremely heavy. I think next time I want to look at my reflection, I'm just gonna look into a puddle. So we have bank accounts. Now, they're free to open, but they love a good fee. It's a $15 a month fee if I don't have at least $500 in my savings account. Why are you charging me for not having money? I don't have money. Who knew being poor was so expensive? Finally, we have gasoline. Now, when I was a kid, I thought the price per gallon was the price to fill up your whole tank. I was like, why is everyone complaining so much? It's only $2.50. Times that by 12 and then make it a weekly cost. I know it's going to take me 2 hours to get there, but I think I'll just walk. These are things I thought were cheap as a kid and was shocked to find out they're incredibly expensive. Part 11. We have throw blankets. I don't know, it's a piece of fabric with some tassels for dramatic effect. I thought it'd be like $10. No, why can't I just go to Joann's and buy some fabric and lander that? Also, these are always so soft in the store, and then when I bring them home, I feel like they lose their softness immediately. What kind of voodoo magic is that? So we have anesthesia. Now, they don't tell you how much this is going to be before your surgery. They send you a bill after and like, LOL, that's $1,600, please. I sleep like a rock. Give me a Benadryl in 10 minutes and I'll be out for the surgery. I promise. Worst comes to worst, just give me a towel and a piece of ice to bite on. That's fine. I'll make it through this. I'm not paying that much. Finally, we have earbuds. Now, I don't actually understand how these work, but I don't think they should be $150. I've never had earbuds in and been like, wow, that sounds good. My 26 listen through Chromatica is always going to have a little screech to it. Unless like I can play Mariah Carey's whistle note through these and it'll break glass, I'm not paying that much for them.